Our story begins in the early 1900s when a new form of energy started powering South Africa's mining, industry and rail systems: electricity. This was a game changer. In 1924, South Africa's role in global energy took off when Dr. van der Bijl represented the country at the first ever World Power Conference, where 39 countries attended. This led to the creation of the South African National Committee of the World Energy Conference, or SANEA. Initially, SANEA was led by the chairman of Eskom, with the Eskom chief executive serving as honorary secretary. Membership was by invitation only and included key technical players in the energy industry, such as the South African railways and harbours.
In 1967, the World Power Conference expanded to include all energy forms and became the World Energy Council, WEC. But SANEA kept focusing on electricity. In 1972, the committee urged the government to take charge of energy management, leading to a new energy section in the Department of Planning. Jan Smith, as the chairman of Eskom and SANEA, introduced various changes to the local committee in 1980. He believed in incorporating insights from those on the front lines of electricity production. As a result, the chief executive of Eskom, then Dr. Ian McRae, became the chair of SANEA, while the head generation took on the role of Secretary General.
Dr. Ian McRae led SANEA through challenging times, particularly when South Africa faced isolation from many countries due to political sanctions. He used any opportunity to connect with original equipment manufacturers to drive the technical progress necessary to build South Africa's power stations and meet the growing demand. SANEA members continued to submit technical papers for WEC conferences, despite being barred from attending in person. A breakthrough came in 1986 when SANEA, through Eskom, showcased dry cooling technology at the WEC Congress in Cannes, and Dr. McRae served as international vice chairman of one of the sessions, a first for South Africa. By the mid-1980s, WEC began instituting regional meetings, providing an alternative platform for SANEA's active participation in technical studies and programs despite the ongoing bans. These programs included electrification, African rural energy, and the integration of energy information systems. Bruce Crooks, leading a team of Eskom engineers, spearheaded the Performance of Generating Plant program, which became a notable case study within the WEC community.
With the political landscape shifting, South Africa entered a new era in 1994. Alan Morgan took the helm as Eskom's chief executive during this critical time, just before South Africa's first democratic elections. This new era brought fresh opportunities, and South Africa was selected as the venue for the WEC Executive Assembly meeting, putting on an unforgettable event to mark the nation's new beginning.
My name is Wendy Isgoshek. I had the privilege of being central to all the arrangements pertaining to the World Energy Council Executive Assembly and the WEC Southern and East African Regional Energy Forum held in South Africa in 1994. Planning the event began some years before, during intense political turmoil, the only constant in all that time being the question, is it actually going to take place? When Nelson Mandela walked out of Pollsmoor prison a free man, that freedom extended beyond the man to the country itself. With elation, South Africa and SANEA were able to confirm the hosting of this prestigious event. There were many highlights in the planning of the event. One in particular when I accompanied the video crew to obtain statements of support by the pending first and second deputy presidents of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki and F.W. de Klerk respectively. Both were encouraging. The many delegates enjoyed the euphoria that prevailed. They attended study tours and tourist attractions in a country that had been non grata in the eyes of the world for as long as anyone could remember. It was an experience never to be forgotten. It brought the world to South Africa and presented South Africa to the world.
Between 2000 and 2003, SANEA underwent a significant transformation to establish itself as an independent and viable organization. This restructuring led to SANEA officially becoming SANEA, the South African National Energy Association, and registering as a Section 21 company under South African law. A board of directors was appointed, and the SANEA office saw restructuring, with the then Rand Afrikaans University, represented by Chris Cooper, providing part-time secretariat support. Under Fred Paswana, SANEA expanded, opening membership to individuals and corporations, and became financially stable. In 2007, Eskom's chief executive Thulani Kabashi agreed to second Brian Statham, then Eskom's generation strategy chief, as SANEA's executive chairman on a full-time basis.
SANEA took off under Brian Statham's leadership. The organization became a hub for innovation, technical programs, and energy discussions across the continent. SANEA's signature events like Business Breakfast and Action for Energy conferences kept the sector engaged and informed, with a focus on communication, member engagement, and partnerships. Brian Statham ensured SANEA stayed ahead with regular newsletters, the Brian's Brief updates, and partnerships with major energy players like Africa Energy in Durban.
One of SANEA's biggest initiatives was Brian leading a global effort to create energy scenarios up to 2050. This visionary planning set the tone for how South Africa and the world would prepare for future energy needs.
Being actively engaged in WEC and playing a leading role in its studies efforts presented me with a wonderful opportunity to promote SANEA and South Africa globally, to ensure that developing country circumstances were recognized in WEC programs, and to build inclusive global networks of energy professionals. This was truly a memorable time for me.
I saw SANEA evolve from being a technical networking body to one with a focus on educating and mentoring upcoming leaders in the energy industry. SANEA Schools initiative started when SANEA became involved in the Young Scientists Expo, hosted by SASL. Several SANEA members judged the energy category which had just been introduced. Thereafter, SANEA organized schools essay competitions and visits to the Eskom Research and Innovation Center. We made the youngsters aware that energy is the part of our everyday lives that we all take for granted. We did not know how true this would become, some 20 years down the line. SANEA also focused on graduates and postgraduates, with a national essay competition aimed at technikons, universities, and postgraduate students. when the winners of this competition attended the World Energy Council Youth Congress in Tokyo in 1995, they were disappointed that Africa was poorly represented. They embarked on organizing the African Youth Energy Symposium, held in Johannesburg in 1997, the first of its kind in Africa.
In 2019, Kiran Maharaj took over as SANEA chair. It was a time of new challenges, not least of which was the global pandemic. This led to the tough decision to, in 2020, suspend SANEA's WEC membership after 96 years. SANEA nevertheless maintains a collaborative relationship with the Council. Despite economic pressure, SANEA adapted to new digital tools, webinars, e-learning courses, collaborating on an energy skills roadmap and publishing an annual energy risk report.
Today, SANEA is stronger than ever. As in-person events return, SANEA is back to hosting its biannual conferences and the prestigious Energy Awards. It's a celebration of 100 years of innovative thinking energy, and we're just getting started.
We recognize and value all our members, past, current and future. We remain grateful for their continued support in delivering value to the energy sector. A special thank you to Eskom, our longest serving sustaining member. Walking this journey with SANEA over the past century is a testament to the value of partnerships and collaboration. As we move into the next century, the SANEA board is committed to contributing to the agenda that supports the growth of the energy sector and the economy.